Good morning, Veritas. This is the lesson for Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. I hope you guys had a great April vacation. I know it was a little shorter than usual, but I hope you enjoyed 3 days off. I went up to the mountains and had a great time with my daughter. So let's get started for today's lesson. We have 2 days and then we have a weekend. So let's work hard for these 2 days. All right, here we go. So this is the problem. This is the assignment in today's Google Classroom. It starts with Johanna going to the mailbox. So get this one out. Press pause if you need to get yourself set for a minute. Got my extra space. And let's get started with number 1. Okay, Johanna took 476 steps to get to the mailbox. If she took that same number of steps 12 times, then how many steps did Johanna take? Okay, so before I choose what operation I'm going to do here, I drew just a quick little model of home to the mailbox was 476 steps. Okay, and it said she did that 12 times, so then she's going to go back 476 more steps. So she went there, 476, back 476. This way, 476, back 476. And she's going to do that 12 times, so I don't need to really finish my model. I could do 476 plus 476 plus 476 and do that 12 times. That's one strategy I could use to solve this. Or we're going to use multiplication because we're in 5th grade and that's what we're going to do. So it's repeated addition. We can use multiplication. Johanna took 476 steps to get to the mailbox. If she did that, took the same number of steps 12 times, then how many steps did she take? 476, she did it 12 times, so we're going to do 476 times 12. Okay? So you could do repeated addition and add 476 together 12 times, but there's a good chance you're going to make a mistake if you do it that way. Got to be a little bit, this is a more accurate, quicker way to do the same operation, so we're going to do multiplication instead. So here we go. We're going to start with the ones place on the bottom. We're going to go to we're going to basically ignore the 110 for now. We're just going to do 476 times 2. So you're going to do 2 times 6, which is 12. So you're going to put the 2 in the ones place and carry the 110 over to the tens place. Then 2 times 7 is 14, plus the one we carried is 15. But since those are 15 tens, because the 7 is in the tens place, we have to put the 5 in the tens place and carry the 1 for 15. Then we do 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1 is 9. And just remember that this is really 476. So 2 times 400 is 800, plus the 1 more is 900. So we just do 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, but it really is 900, and that's why we put it in the hundreds place there. Okay, I'm going to cross these ones off that I carried and added so I don't mess up and add them again. Now, very, very important, you have to put a 0 in the ones place to hold the ones place. I put a smiley face there just to remind myself that there was nothing multiplied to get to 0. You just have to hold the ones place with that. Because now we're done with the 2. We're now going to multiply 1 times 6, and then times 7, and then times 4. But this 1 is really 10. So think about it this way. If we did 10 times 6, it's 60. So if we just did 1 times 6 and put the 6 here, that would say that 10 times 6 is 6. But it's not. It's 60. So we have to hold the ones place with the 0 because now we're in the tens place. We do 1 times 6 is 6. But you see how, since we put the 0 there, it now says 60. Okay, so you have to put this 0 to hold the ones place. That way you're not off by a place value for every one of these. Okay, so 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 7 is 7, but again, it's really 10 times 70, which is 700. That's why it's in the hundreds place. And then 1 times 400 is 400, but it's really 10 times 400, which is why the 4 is actually in the thousands place. Okay, then we add up our 2 partial products. This was part of the answer, and this was part of the answer, so we're going to add them to find the full answer. 0 plus 2, 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17, 4 plus 1 is 5. So the answer is 5,712. So the number of steps that Johanna took was 5,712. Okay? Pretty good. Check your partial products carefully. Did you have 952 plus 4,760? If these numbers are not exactly like this, then I want you to go through, follow your steps, and try to figure out where it was that you messed up. Maybe it was you forgot to put the 0 here, but I want you to look carefully. If you didn't get 5,712, don't just get mad about it and fix the answer to this. I want you to look and see where did you make your mistake. Because if you made the mistake here now, you're likely to make the same mistake next time. So your job right now, if you didn't get this answer, is to find out where was it that you went wrong, think about what you did, and try to fix it for next time. All right, that's the answer for number 1, is 5,712. So give yourself some snaps if you got that right. Good work. If you didn't, it's really important that you find out what mistake that you made on yours. All right. So for the next one, number 2, I drew a little place value chart because this is going to help us, and we're going to use the place value chart for A, then for B, then for C, and then for D. Okay, because this was a pretty complicated problem. If you go too quickly, you're going to end up making a mistake on this one. Okay, so number 2 says, which of the following expressions are equivalent to 74 and 14/100ths? Choose all that apply. So that is a clue that there's more than one correct answer. It's saying choose all that apply. So that is a clue that's saying there's more than one that is right. Okay, so we need to really carefully check, because you're not just finding one that's right, you're going to choose all of them. So we have to actually solve 4 problems here. But if you don't take the time to do that, you're most likely not going to choose all that apply. And the thing is, if you choose one of the correct answers but you miss the other one, then you get 0 points for this. So it's really important on these ones that say choose all, you need to solve these. Basically, you have to solve A, then solve B, then solve C, then solve D, and choose all that match 74 and 14/100ths. Okay, so don't let the word expressions trick you up. Which of the following expressions? It's showing you that these are expressions. Okay, so here, I set up a place value chart. I noticed that it only goes to the hundreds and it only goes to the hundredths. So I set my chart up, hundreds, tens, ones, then I have the decimal point, tenths, hundredths. So let's look at A. 7 times 100 would be 7 in the hundreds place. 4 times 1 would be 4 in the ones place, not in the tens place. So be careful. There are 0 tens, so we're going to just put a 0 there. Then we have 14 times 1/10. So 14, that means this 4 is going to land in the tenths place. So if we put 14 tenths, we're really going to put 4 there, and the 1's going to go here, which is going to make that a 5. Does that make sense? 14 tenths is 1.4, because the 14 is going to land in the tenths place. So it's 1.4, but we had to add the 1 to this 4. So that really makes 5 ones and 4 tenths. So this answer is 705 and 4 tenths, which is not the same as this. So 705.4 is not correct. So A is not correct. Okay? Now part B, 7 times 10. 7 in the tens place. I might check it off each time. 4 times 1, 4 in the ones place. 1 times 1/10, 1 in the tenths place. And now 4 times 100th would be 4 in the hundredths place. And we have 74.14, which is 74 and 14/100ths. So this one is correct. So far we have B being correct. We used all of those. 74.14 is the same as 74 and 14/100ths, because the hundredths place is 2 spots after the decimal point. So you'd read this as 74 and 14/100ths, because it lands in the hundredths place. So this one is correct. Now let's go to C. 7 tenths would, or 7 times 10 would be 70. 7 in the tens place. 4 times 1, 4 in the ones place. 14 times 100th would be 14/100ths. The 4 is going to land in the hundredths place. So 14/100ths is 14/100ths. And look at that. We're done with that one. We have 74 and 1400ths, the same as B. So that one is also correct. 74 and 1400ths. So far, we have B and C are correct, but it says choose all that apply. It doesn't tell us that there's 2 right, so there might be 3 right. We got to check it carefully. Let's go to D. Last one. We're almost done. But think about all the work we did up to this point. If you don't do the same thing for D, you're just throwing this problem away because you don't know for a fact whether this one's right or not. So 7 times 10 would be a 7 in the tens place. 4 times 10 would be a 4 in the tens place. So 7 plus 4 more tens would be 11 tens. 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 tens is actually 100 and 110. So we know that since there's no hundreds here, and this is saying there's 100, we know this one's wrong. But I'm going to continue it to the end. 1 times 1/10 would be a 1 in the tenths place. And 4 times 100th would be a 4 in the hundredths place. So the issue here was that they put 4 in the tens place, not the ones place like these correct answers did. So that ends up being incorrect because there should not be any hundreds. So this one is 110 and 1400ths because there was 1 here, 0 here, 1, 4. All right, since we had 7 plus 4 tens, that's really 11 tens, which is 110. Okay, so D is not correct. The correct answers for number 2 were B and C. Give yourself some snaps if you got that. If not, look and try to see where did you make your mistake. Maybe this is a better strategy. If you didn't do this, making a place value chart might be a good strategy to use next time. All right, but give yourself some snaps if you got B and C. That was a really tricky problem, so good work. Okay, last one, number 3. Write 27/4 as a mixed number. So 27/4 is called an improper fraction because the numerator is 27. That's bigger than the denominator of 4. So since 27/4, 27 is more than 4, that means this improper fraction is actually equal to more than 1 whole. It's equal to multiple wholes. So we're going to find out how many wholes does it equal to and then how much fraction as a mixed number. Mixed number puts a whole number plus a fraction. So let's find out how many wholes this is and how many fractions of the next whole. So 27/4. What I did here is I started a model. So 27/4 is what we're doing. That's 27 divided by 4. So I'll show you this strategy to do it. 27 divided by 4. We'll do that here. But I also wanted to draw some models. I drew some fourths. We're counting up to 27/4. So there's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, which makes 1 whole. 5/4, 6/4, 7/4, 8/4, which makes 2 wholes. 9, 10, 11, 12/4, because they're all fourths in size. 12/4 makes 3 wholes. 13, 14, 15, 16/4 makes 4 wholes. And we're going up to 27. 17, 18, 19, 20/4 makes 5 wholes. 21, 22, 23, 24/4 makes 6 wholes. And we need 27/4. So I actually need to draw another hole cut into fourths. And we're at 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we need to do 25, 26, 27. We're not going to color in that last one. So this part is 3/4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. And then 3/4 to the next one. Or 6 and 3/4. You can't simplify 3/4 because you can't divide 3 and 4 by the same number to make them any simpler or smaller in number. So that is our answer. 6 and 3/4. Okay. So 27/4, we're just counting all the fourths. 4 of them, 4/4, 8/4, 12/4, 16/4, 20/4, 24/4, 25, 26, 27/4. The denominator of 4 is just telling us how many pieces there are in each hole. So each hole had to have 4 pieces. And we counted them up, and it ended up being 6 and 3/4. Okay, one other strategy for this, like I said at the beginning, this is a division problem. Just like it looks like the division symbol. right? This divided by this. 27 divided by 4. Okay, so 27 divided by 4. If we had 27 cookies, for example, and we put them into 4 equal groups, we're trying to figure out how many would go into each of those 4 groups. So if you had 27 and you put them into 4 groups, you can't put 7 in each group because that would be 7, 14, 21, 28. We only have 27. So we're going to have to put 6 into each group. So if we put 6 into each group, that gives us 6, 12, 18, 24. So 6 times 4 we multiply as 24. Then we subtract to see how many are left. There are 3 left. So we can't put 7 in these groups because then they wouldn't all be equal groups. And when we divide into 4 groups, they have to be 4 equal groups. So if we take this remainder of 3 and we put like one here and here and here, this one won't have the same number as those ones. That'll be 7, 7, 7, 6. And they need to be equal groups. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this remainder becomes the numerator, and the divisor, the number we divided by, becomes the denominator. And that's our answer, 6 3/4. So if we put that as a fraction, 6 3/4, if we did 6 3/4 into each group, then we would have 27. And you'll notice that's the same answer we got when we drew out the model and did it that way. Okay? So that's it. That's the answers for today. Let's see. Tomorrow's problems are going to look like this. So you can check your Google Classroom for tomorrow, Friday, April 24th, and give those a try. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. I'll come out with an all-star challenge in a few minutes, so keep your eye out for that. That's it. Take care.